Did y'all see Pissy Pete talking about giving Qatar a military base on U.S. soil? Watch this shit.
I'm also proud that today we're signing a letter of acceptance to build a Qatari Emiri Air Force facility at the Mountain Home Air Base in Idaho. The location will be host a contingent of Qatari F-15s and pilots to enhance our combined training, increase lethality, interoperability. It's just another example of our partnership. And I hope you know, Your Excellency, that you can count on us.
First off, that's unconstitutional and invalid. Because when the fuck did they pass this through Congress? In order to legally allow a foreign military base on U.S. soil, it would require presidential negotiation and signing of a treaty, 2/3 Senate approval, congressional enabling legislation, state/local land and environmental approvals, and ongoing U.S. command and oversight. Has that fucking happened? No. So I'm assuming this is just the first step, which is the negotiation, and then Dookie Booty has to sign the treaty. So after that, it must then go to the U.S. Senate, where 2/3 must vote to approve it. They would need 67 votes if all 100 senators are present. The Senate could hold hearings, require amendments, and reject it outright. And then, even if the treaty passed the Senate, Congress would need to enact enabling legislation to implement it. Funding for land use, security, and oversight, modifications to federal and possibly state laws to define jurisdiction, who prosecutes crimes by foreign troops, how weapons are regulated, possibly amending the Posse Comitatus Act if the arrangement risks giving foreign troops policing powers on U.S. soil. And if it's somehow approved, the base would likely include joint command structure, U.S. officers always having veto power, limited numbers and weapons restrictions, continuous congressional and Defense Department oversight. It would look less like foreign soil and more like a joint operation zone, heavily monitored by U.S. forces and intelligence. It says, in practice, this process is so politically explosive that no U.S. administration has ever even attempted it. The optics of foreign troops on U.S. land would provoke major backlash. The U.S. military already maintains command over 750 bases abroad, so the strategic benefit rarely justifies the domestic risk. Given U.S. sovereignty concerns, it would face major bipartisan resistance unless it served an overwhelming strategic purpose, which it doesn't. So these motherfuckers really sold off America for a fucking plane. For a fucking plane. We need to get all these motherfuckers out of the White House ASAP. Congress, y'all better do y'all motherfucking job and make sure this shit don't happen.
Qatar wants to build an air base in Idaho. But don't panic just yet. Let me tell you what that really means and what's really happening. Earlier today, reports said that Trump allowed Qatar to build an Air Force facility in Idaho to host Qatari troops. Big headline, but it's a bit misleading. This isn't a Qatar base on U.S. soil. It's a training detachment within Mountain Home Air Force Base, based under U.S. command. It's similar to how Singapore operates there. Qatar will send F-15s and crews to train with the USAF. There's already a Pentagon environmental review from 2022. 12 Qatar F-15s, 300 personnel over 10 years, infrastructure upgrades, etc. The plan was already underway, okay? So, why is it so dramatic now? Because this move deepens U.S.-Qatar alignment and follows Trump's security assurances to Qatar and its mediation in Gaza. It's geopolitical, not just headlines. So, facts first, it's training, not stationing. But keep watching for details on cost, legal status, and command structure. Don't let drama drown out truth, okay? And stay calm.
Trump is allowing Qatar to build a military base on U.S. soil in Idaho. Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth announced today that this Qatari military base will house F-15s and Qatari soldiers. So now we're going to have a Middle Eastern authoritarian semi-constitutional monarchy's Air Force base on U.S. soil. Hegseth finalized this agreement, allowing the Qatari Emiri Air Force to build this facility at Mountain High Air Force Base in Idaho. Now, the Qatari pilots and soldiers will be training along U.S. soldiers, right with them. Okay, it's really important to note that there are no foreign military bases on U.S. soil. There are foreign military soldiers who train here in the U.S., but there are no bases. And this is also a Middle Eastern authoritarian constitutional monarchy. This is their military. And what's slightly concerning as well is exactly what Hegseth said, which I will quote. The location will host a contingent of Qatari F-15s and pilots to enhance our combined training, increase lethality, interoperability. It's just another example of our partnership. Our partnership with this country. That's concerning. I will keep you updated on all of this, but this is alarming. Please like, follow, and share so that I can continue to provide you with content, and I appreciate you being here.
MAGA, this is why it's not okay for presidents to receive $400 million jets from a foreign government.
Today, we're signing a letter of acceptance to build a Qatari Emiri Air Force facility at the Mountain Home Air Base in Idaho.
Now, there are plenty of examples of seeing Pete Hegseth excited about something. This isn't it. Clearly, he's not thrilled about making this announcement from what appears to be his mother's basement.
Host a contingent of Qatari F-15s and pilots to enhance our combined training, increase lethality, interoperability. Is just another example
of Donald Trump making a decision that works against the best interest of the United States.
Hope you know, Your Excellency, that you can count on us.
Qatar joins a growing list of countries that knows they can count on Donald Trump more than anyone else, regardless of what they do. Putin could count on Donald Trump never following through with any threats of sanctions or consequence whatsoever. Wouldn't even go so far as acknowledge the fact that Putin invaded Ukraine completely unprovoked, despite the fact that our soybean farmers are getting wiped out because China is buying soybeans from Argentina because of Trump's failed tariff policies. Donald Trump uses $20 billion of our tax money to bail out Argentina. And then there's the fact that Donald Trump continued to use our tax dollars to fund a genocide of a country that continued to defy ceasefire orders. In addition to the almost $6 billion a year we give to Israel, who provides free health care and education to its citizens, while we have student loan debt out the ass, while millions of U.S. citizens are facing losing their health care insurance or being completely unable to afford it due to Trump's potential 112% increase on premiums.
We saw in Midnight Hammer
the largest B-2 bomber attack in American history that in no way benefited the people of the United States of America. Just more of our tax dollars pissed away on behalf of Israel, a country that would soon demonstrate how much they actually respect our country and our president by bombing Qatar without giving Trump any notice whatsoever. Again, something we're doing on behalf of a country whose name you cannot use on social media without getting flagged, without getting a warning, or without your account getting taken down. You might want to find me on other platforms because I'm not sure how much longer that country will allow me to be on this one.
Welcome to the Pentagon.
And then there's the fact Qatar is tied to 9/11 through private funding. But, Trump got a jet.